just getting the screens ready for. Do I push my screen? Okay, great. So first of all, I want to just mention that I've been allocated 4 minutes of Don Kaplan's presentation. So I'll be speaking for 9 minutes and Don will speak for 1 minute. So is that okay? I just want to make sure you're okay with that. I know it'll be a big disappointment. Anyway, I got the opportunity to speak about the MBA final residency. And it's basically, the concept consists of a live case. And this is something which was really crafted with the great input of Pedro, our dean, Terry Power, and Stephen Glover about 3 or 4 years ago, when the sense was we should really try and do something a little different to round out the learning experience for the MBA. And so with lots of planning and hard work, the outcome was basically the need to find 2 live companies, 2 organizations that would be reviewed over a 3-week period by the MBA cohort. So normally we have 2 cohorts arriving at the same time, so cohort A, cohort B, and the idea was to find 2 organizations. Terry Powell started off the process, did a superb job in finding these 2 organizations. One was an oil company, and one was a credit union, and off we went with the process there. I've since had the opportunity to take on the academic lead, and I want to tell you a bit more about this whole process as we go through. One of the interesting pieces of this whole residency is that we invoked the problem-based or PBL learning process, which really is very applicable to the course. So we have a live case, and essentially the students are thrown in at the deep end. They don't know the company or the organization at all until the day they arrive. In fact, they view a videotaping on the first evening as well there too. And so the course is a little on the chaotic side. It's real life. It's like going into a consulting assignment with a team of people, trying to figure out an organization, its dynamics, the issues and challenges, and it's very free-flowing. And over the course of the 2 or 3 week period there, we get a fair bit of sort of a little bit of chaos, a bit of stress, a little bit of concern about where the whole process is unfolding. So one of the key points of this whole process is finding the clients. And so that's really fallen into my sort of world right now. So what I try and do is I go out and turn on my charm factor, which is tough to do, and I find companies or organizations that are willing to come out and basically bare their souls for 3 weeks with a team or a cohort of 38 to 40 students consisting of about 7 teams. And so, as I mentioned, Terry started the process off. I was able to attract a number of technology companies over the last couple of years, some hospitality, and also some green-based companies as well there too. I'll talk a bit about one particular client to give you a sense of how it worked. I landed a company called Quest the Tangent, or QT for short. They manufacture diagnostic systems for high-speed trains across Europe and North America. So a very interesting company. So having found the company and convinced the CEO to come and be interviewed by me and partake, the criteria that we use for this process is to find complex companies that have been around for 4 or 5 years, have a decent-sized workforce, 20-plus people. QT had 80. They're complex. They're expanding dramatically. QT were trying to launch new products in new markets. And so basically we convinced Bill Cook to basically, as the CEO, to come on board there and be interviewed. So I do an interview about an hour long with them, and then we have the interview in the film can, and then it's given out to the students on the first night. Confidentiality is a big issue, so we reassure the clients that there are no financial statements passed around at all. We'll talk high level about revenue and earnings, but we keep that very, very confidential. All participants sign confidentiality agreements as well there too, so that helps a lot. In terms of deliverables, the teams have 2 big deliverables. After the first week, they do an external scan based upon the client company. So for QT, 7 teams did separate environmental scans to basically seek out and figure out the competition environment for the company. Then individually, we assess participation during the course, and also there's an individual assignment where people on their own provide their own feedback and their own insight about what they feel the company's challenges will be and where the company will be in a few years' time. So one of the key parts of this whole process is we have a PBL coach, Lane Sherman, who kind of keeps this chaos in rein. And we also have 9 strategic mentors that come in on most of the days or as the program unfolds. We start with Carolyn Recca-Monroe, who will talk after me about her process in this three-week learning experience. We have Amy Zadolka, who talks about creative problem solving. We have MBA grads in our consulting stream who speak about change management, who speak about social media. Each day, the student teams get a little shot in the arm around different areas which help and inform them with their reports. At the end of the day, the outcomes really are as follows. For the client sits in this room on the final Thursday, and the student teams present their findings and they hand over a bound report that has covered off one external market-facing and one internal managerial issue. So the client walks out of here with 7 bound, highly professional consulting reports, and they tend to be extremely happy with that outcome as well too. As a side comment, there's been some follow-on work with Amy in particular, doing some work for the client afterwards as well there too. So the clients have a fabulous outcome in terms of receiving a very pragmatic intervention. The learners are thrown into a live case and they really learn about the ins and outs of management consulting. It is not prescriptive, which I found hard to deal with, but it's something which is very free-flowing and it really does mirror current reality. And so for the students, there are great outcomes as well there too. And so my questions at the end of this process will be, how can we attract future clients? How will this help us with perhaps MBA student recruitment? And also, what are the best sort of teaching practices that can come and arise from this? Thank you very much.